Palestinian kids been blown up for years, and haven't they been suffering post-traumatic, stress and whatnot from everything that's been going on? You can't look at one side and not look at the other side. That's a double standard. So in the same way that one side is being bombed, another side has also been bombed for many years. And the lack of accountability and the lack of awareness that people have is really problematic. Because whereas what's happening in Israel, the most recent bombings, which started a couple of days ago, by the way, has had the whole world blown up about it. I don't understand why the other side, the Palestinian side, hasn't had any. That's a double standard to me. I can't stand that.
Thank you, Giselle. I'm going to give Norm a minute to rebuttal, and then we're going to move the mic around. Norman.
Here I am. So, I'm trying to follow the thread of Giselle's objections. Hamas is not just arbitrarily designated a terror organization. They are not the legitimate government of the Palestinian, so-called Palestinian people. The Palestinian Authority is. Hamas murdered, threw off buildings, and ejected the legitimate government of the Palestinian people, the Palestinian Authority. And the reason why they had to receive cash from Bibi is because the Palestinian Authority didn't let them use the banking system. And the thought was that if we're nice to Hamas and let them have their donations from Qatar, then they'll be nice to us. That was proven to be a miscalculation on the part of Israel. What money did they get? Well, they got $250 million from Joe Biden, the American president for whom I voted, in September, just a few days before they launched the worst attack on Jews since the Holocaust. You say they're not allowed to form a government, but they have a government. They have Hamas, which is a terror organization, internationally designated, not arbitrary, because they lead suicide bombings. That is an act of terror. They bomb civilians indiscriminately with their rockets and missiles. Those are acts of terrorism. It's not one-sided. So, as Golda Meir said, if they put down their weapons, we will have peace. If we put down our weapons,
any Palestinian person can say the same.
Can I finish my sentence?
Giselle, let him land his plane. I'm going to give you a chance to call, and then I want to go to Miss Clark and Jessica again.
And I do want to hear your response. If they put down their weapons, we will have peace. If we put down our weapons, there will be no more Israel. That's what Golda Meir said.
1 minute, Giselle.
I'm going to try and make this really quick by just saying the obvious. The numbers are not comparable. So if you tell me that if Palestinians put down their weapons, there will be peace, and, any Palestinian would say the other way around very easily, and the numbers speak for that. So that's actually a baseless statement.
Thank you, Giselle. Hold on, everybody, hold on, man. Let the ladies go, and then I'll get back to you, gentlemen. I know you're dying to talk. Miss Clark, how you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm going to be really quick when I say this. For me, sitting up here being an American and being a prior military veteran, all this is happening because the American government just won't step back and let what's going to happen. Realistically, regardless of how y'all feel about it, across both of y'all have initiated conflict with other people. You can say that the Palestinians initiated with Israel. Israel has initiated with Palestinians. Israel has initiated with Iran. At the end of the day, America needs to step back and let y'all figure it out. Because peace at this point isn't an option. And I know it sounds crazy to say that. It isn't. So we just need to let y'all duke it out, figure it out, and go about y'all way. I get real tired of the rocks being thrown and then trying to hide my hands in conversations, because it seems like everybody is perfectly capable of pointing out what other people did to them, but they're not capable of holding themselves accountable for the shit that they do. The reality of it is war. You have to be responsible for the intentional deaths, just like you have to be responsible for the unintentional deaths. And to sit here and think that you're going to be able to go and educate children on why you blew up their parents and them not have some feelings against you is crazy in my mind. And it's going to keep going until finally somebody's the bigger person and just says, either it's going to be an all-out war and we're going to stop pickpocketing and nicking and doing all this other stuff and ending it and dealing with the repercussions of it, because this idea that y'all can go and cause harm to people and people aren't supposed to have sentiments simply because you quote-unquote educate them about something, I don't give a damn. If you came into my community and aired out my family and you shot up a single terrorist in the case that was talking bad about you, but in turn you killed 20 innocent people, guess what? I'm going to have my feelings and sentiments about you. And I might just go back into your community and air your asses out too. And that's the reality of it. And instead of people just being honest and saying, hey, we're getting innocent people caught up into it and we have to take responsibility for that, it's a bunch of if and what's about it. And it needs to stop.
Well, Ms. Clark, I love what you just said, because that's what I've been saying. We kill their family. And see, that comes with the arrogance and non-accountability in my community. We're so arrogant, we think we can just indoctrinate these people not to hate us anymore. So what's the outcome? Hold on, W, man, you come off mic again, I'm kicking you out. I know you want to speak. Aziz, I know you want to speak, but I was very clear when I said I'm going to let the ladies speak first. But you're right, Ms. Clark. We're going to kill people's families, and then we're going to expect to have s'mores with them. McZed, hold on, bro. Thank you. Jessica, how you doing? Jessica, are you there? All right, I'm going to go to McZed next. McZed, how you doing?
Doing okay. I agree. I think that both sides need to take full responsibility for all of the actions they're taking, both righteous and cruel. I think that both sides are basically standing at each other and saying, we hold before you a blessing and a curse. The blessing is peace. The curse is war. And then both sides choose.
Thank you, McZed. Appreciate you. And be careful what you say. You might lose your Jew card. Let me go to Doug. Doug, how you doing, Doug? Doug Bully, you there?
By the way, JB, his Jew card is the Torah, not revocable. Not
Okay.
revocable.
Says you. You haven't got the smoke I got.
No, that's the law.
Okay.
Says the law.
Okay, thank you. Let me go to Aziz, then W. Aziz, what's up? Aziz.
Yeah. I think the issue is, we talk about what Hamas did with the money, but something is missing. It's the accountability from the people that are sort of pro-Israel, right? Since 1967, there's been a systematic military lockdown, political, economic, land and sea, and according to the Geneva Convention, if you're an occupying power, you're sort of responsible for the welfare of the people, right? And so it's the lack of accountability. You can say, oh, well, Hamas are in control. Well, they haven't had an election in nearly over 20 years, right? And even since the Oslo Accords, 2005 disengagement, they've controlled taxation, import, export. If I could just finish my point. So that being said, there's a level of accountability, not even just legally. Let's just say morally, ethically, but legally you're obliged based on the Geneva Convention to be accountable for them, especially given the fact that they haven't had an election in 20 years. Given the fact that Israel's a democracy, you need to sort of lean into the democratic element of what's happening here. Now, when you look at Hamas, yes, they've made it clear that they intend to wipe out the Jews. Let's run with that one. Well, the reality is, are they capable of that? We saw on October 7th that there was the biggest attack on Jews since the Holocaust, and I believe that needs to be investigated, and we need to look deeper into that so it doesn't happen again. I have questions about that, but we won't get into that.
Aziz, land your plane.
Yeah, I'm going to land. I'm about to land. And I know I won't get into that, but the reality is, are Hamas capable of eradicating Israel? Are they? One second, please. I'm about to land. I'm about to finish. Their statement of intent is genocidal, let's say. I agree to that. I'll agree to that. But are they truly capable? Are they truly an existential threat? I don't think so. The people that are being governed by Hamas have not voted in 20 years. A large portion, at least 30%.
Now you're repeating yourself, bro. Land your plane down, please.
I'm about to land it.
You've been saying that for 10 minutes.
Right. I'm about to land it here. This is my final point. Given the fact that the majority of the people have not had an opportunity to vote for Hamas, I believe that the treatment of the people is considered collective punishment, and given there's no real existential threat from Hamas, I believe this is an overextension of military aggression and should be condemned.
Thank you, Aziz. I'll circle back to your phone. Sig, are you there, Sig?
Yes, right here.
I have a question for you. You think if I step away for 5 minutes that we can still have the quorum in this room and not chaos? What do you think the odds of that happening?
we'll maintain it, man. If you got to step away, bro.
I have to step away for 5-10 minutes. I'll be back. Sig, you're in charge. Guys, one mic at a time. Sig, if anybody comes off mic when they're not supposed to, just move them to the audience.
Roger that.
It's you now.
Roger. Who was next after Aziz? Was anybody next in the queue? All right, cool. Well, we got new people on the stage, so I'm going to do this in JB fashion. Looks like we've got Jessica. I don't know if you talk. Keegan, you're on. Actually, Keegan, if you want to go, you grab the mic. And W, if you want to go after Keegan, you can. Keegan, you got anything to say? Hey, W, welcome to the stage, man, if you want to go. We can't hear you, brother. All right, well, I'm going to open it up. If anybody wants to respond to what Aziz just said, but we'll open it up popcorn style, but just please one person talking at a time.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll give it a shot. The Arabs of Gaza, the Arabs of Judea and Samaria have chosen not to have elections. Okay, that's their choice. So they don't have the democracy. I don't know of one single democracy in the Arab world, not one. And that's okay. Maybe they don't value that. The only thing they can't do is kill Jews. I mean, I don't even want to, if they kill each other, that's up to them, although they do get in trouble for that. And here's another thing. A gentleman said earlier that Ethiopia violated a treaty. That is not the case. The reason why is because the Arabs never agreed to any of those treaties. So I want you to ask yourself the following question. Palestinians claim there's an occupation. There's the idea that they started calling themselves Palestinians at some time in recent years. They didn't call themselves that before. The Arabs of the land claim there's an occupation. Ask yourself, which part is occupied? And who is making the claim to the land? These Arab folks who live there. And what is the basis of that claim? The United Nations said, let's divide it up. The Arabs got 22 countries in the region and all of the oil. Let that sink in. 22 countries. You can barely see Israel on the map. If you write the name Israel, you're covering the entire country. It doesn't fit. It bleeds over into Egypt and Lebanon. That's how tiny it is. And yet they don't want to let it exist. So ask yourself why it's so intolerable to some of these Arab Islamist fundamentalist terrorists that Israel exists at all. Why can't we have one Jewish state in our indigenous homeland? And I'll end it there. That should provoke a little conversation.
A simple map, by the way, of the progression of the Israeli settlements will explain to you that Israel doesn't own exactly what it is shown to own now. If you look at the progression from God knows when, 60s maybe, even before that, actually from the 40s, then you can see that Israel, as a country, as a state, started very, very tiny in 2 patches maybe, and that's incrementally been increasing year on year. And it doesn't, it's not rocket science to understand how that increase happens. But
let's talk about it. Let's talk about it together. Don't even mic up. So, number one, are you making a distinction between a country and a state? Because there is no such distinction. They're the same in this case. Do we agree on that? Giselle?
Undecided, okay.
Okay, so, all right. It's a member of the
I'm
United
calling it
Nations.
state because it's, it's the better, for me, that's the better explanation to say this.
Well, they're a country and a state, or a state and a country. Most countries, they call themselves state, interchangeable. Those words are synonymous in this conversation. So that's numero. What's that?
That's semantics, okay.
Yeah, it's the meaning of the word. Okay, fine. Now you say, how did this tiny, 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 tiny country, which only got a fraction of the land that was promised to it, how has it grown? Well, I will tell you. In 1967, we were attacked by three much larger Arab. What?
It was before that. The progression starts before.
Okay, before I left, I
Before
said if somebody's speaking and you interrupt, you get moved down. I'm not playing. We have to have the honest dialogue. Norm, you got 30 seconds, and I want to get a new speaker, please.
Okay, I wasn't speaking, JB. We were having a back and forth.
JB, they were having a back and forth, man. Yeah.
Okay, my bad. I'll bring it back up. Go ahead.
It's okay. Yeah. Wait, you sent her down? She was fine.
Oh, I didn't know that, Norm. Just continue.
Okay,
I'll bring her up.
Okay, I didn't know. Okay, so Israel has, I don't know what you mean by settlements, but Israel grew when its neighbors attacked it aggressively and lost the wars. So up until 1967, Egypt controlled Gaza. Egypt lost that war, lost the Sinai and Gaza. And then when we made a peace agreement, Egypt didn't want it back, so Israel got responsibility for Gaza. Didn't even want it. Same thing with Judea and Samaria, or similar. Jordan attacked also in 1967, lost the war. Israel got control of Judea and Samaria, which many people call the West Bank. So we can take it from there. Giselle, if you want to respond on it.
Giselle left because I moved it down, which is
Okay.
fine. She'll be back.
Okay.
Doug, are you there, Doug? Aaron, how you doing, Aaron?
Yo, what up?
You want to chime in or no?
Pretty much I had a similar sentiment as some of the other speakers earlier. I mean, y'all been fighting for years. At this point, nobody really cares who started what. Y'all both doing fucky shit. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, just either leave that shit alone or do what you got to do to end it. Because at this point, people start hearing about it.
Thank you, Aaron. Keegan, how you doing? Keegan, are you there? All right. Jessica, how you doing? W? Can't hear you, bro. You might have to leave the app and come back.
Is it okay if I ask a question?
Yes, of course. Go ahead.
Do you think that realistically the majority of Israel will be comfortable if America just said, we're going to leave you to your own devices and whatever happens, happens?
No,
Why not? Why not? I mean, America didn't have Israel until 1967. We did fine on our own. But Israel has an economy of 600 billion, which is one of the highest in the world. Per capita is 52,000. The reason why we have an exchange of military equipment with the United States is because it's in the U.S. interest. That's the only reason. The U.S. gives aid to many, many countries, but it does not get from other nations the kind of return that it gets from Israel.
Yeah,
In the
that's
case of
why I kind
UPC.
of like asked that. Oh, sorry.
I was going to say, if you would, in the case, America's been giving Hamas a fortune. It's been giving Egypt a fortune. It's been giving Pakistan a fortune. When it comes to the Palestinians, it's like pouring money down the drain. I mean, they made a terrorist infrastructure. Now all of Gaza is rubble because they built all those tunnels from which they decided to attack Israel. So there's all that money is wasted, whereas Israel has created technology, created medicine, has created schools and infrastructure and buildings. I mean, Israel is like a first world nation.
I guess that's the reason why you bombed all of it, right? But can Iran do that to you?
Well, I
Can
think
Iran say, yeah, you have a tunnel down your ship? Like, can Iran, yeah, use every part of it? Say, Tyrese, he's got bare tunnels where we know he's got tunnels anyways, right? Because that's where you run and that's your shelters. Can we say that? How? I mean, what type of knowledge or conversation are you asking? Does that mean that you can murder somebody, that a child can have a bullet on their skull, like a 2-year-old? Like, what is the excuse on that? If you're saying open warfare, you say everything is fine, I guess you cannot cry to me when I see whatever Iran does, yeah? Don't you bloody dare cry to the rest of us. Do you hear it? Don't cry to us. If I
Nobody's
see
crying,
a child over there, yeah, don't say, look at what they're doing to us over here. Don't you dare do that. Because we've already heard that for 2 years. You've made us unhuman. Am I correct? Our humanity is lost.
Well, let me ask you a question. Wait.
My humanity lost.
Hold on a second, lady. You can't just
Okay.
come up and talk nonstop without getting some interjection. Are you Palestinian?
I'm human. I'm human.
Okay.
I'm allowed to be human.
Well, you say when I don't know if you're human or not, lady.
Well,
But
I'm not
well, when
bloody
you say,
believer. I'm not
listen, shut the fuck up. Let somebody else talk.
Oh.
Fucking ding-a-ling. Like, what the fuck is wrong with some of you people? You say you're human, but you don't have a human conversation. It's bizarre to me. I asked you a question because you said we. We are getting bombed. Our kids are getting killed. So when I ask you a very simple question, are you Palestinian? Obviously that triggered you. Now, if you want to come up and have the real conversation, which you're saying we're not having, you're more than welcome to. But when other people speak, maybe you'll learn something by shutting up. I can't bring her up, Sig, if you want to bring her up.
Yeah, let me try to bring her up.
Ooh. Maybe I should also to reframe my question, because like when I say that America should not be hands-on in any way, shape, or form, I am talking about pulling back all of that money, pulling back all of the weapons, pulling back anything that we would send. Because I know, like, recently, like, if you want it, yeah, as my husband is saying, if you want it, then yeah, there's nothing wrong with our arms dealers selling it to you in that case. But when I say, like, America stepping out completely, I mean for everybody across the board. No more aid, no more funding for anybody. Is that something, because I know we sit up here and people brag about Israel's billions of dollars and stuff, but we don't like to account for the fact that America sent billions of dollars to y'all too. So I'm really asking the question: if America really went hands off, is that something y'all could tolerate and deal with?
Of course. I mean, right now, Israel is defending all of civilization. Iran has promised to engulf the world in a ball of fire. That means a nuclear weapon. Well, believe me, the Western
But you
world,
have
the
a
European
weapon.
nations,
You have a nuclear weapon.
but we haven't threatened to use it on the world because we're not adults.
I'm going to give you one last warning, then you can go to some other room. I don't really care. But the man was talking. Let him finish. Go ahead, Norm.
So the difference is, by the way, Israel hasn't admitted it, which I'm not saying that makes a difference, but it's true. And of course, Israel never has and never will threaten to use that weapon to blow up the world and to blow up the United States, as Iran has.
Thank you, Norm. I want to say hello to Randy. Randy, how you doing? Randy. All right, let's go to Suad. Suad, go ahead. Say what you got to say.
Yeah, I'm just saying, yeah. What does Israel have the audacity to tell other people how to behave? Especially when they already have the whole of the Arab supporting them. They got Egypt supporting them. They have Jordan supporting them. Right? What is the poor little Palestinians doing to you that you are so threatened by? Why can't you just leave them with the Gaza? Why can't you just leave them with the West Bank? Why can't you just give them the place that they were already given? Like, they're not asking for nothing big. They're not asking for nothing. Like, why can't you just but hear me out? Because I didn't disturb you, right, sir? Why can't you give them land, sea, and water? Why can't you give them air? Why can't you let?
Listen, yeah. I'm going to say something, yeah. Okay, you have to have a conversation, yeah. That means you have to let other people talk, yeah.
No, I have.
Get it?
I have.
Yeah,
You told me to talk.
You
You said go ahead, say what? Did you not say that?
But you don't have a dialogue, yeah.
Well, I have that. I don't know what language you think you're speaking at, but that's not my language.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's Europe. We're helping you out. Do the hate.
You know what? I can't even hate this lady. You want to have a dialogue with El Normo or not? Suad.
Yeah, go on, doo-doo.
Doo-doo. Cocky.
Yeah, you doo-doo. What the hell? I'm going to cuss you out comfortably because you're telling me how to talk.
Yeah, poopy head.
Listen, good Muslim women, good Muslim women don't curse out people.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not cursing you. I already told you where you at. You're from the toilet.
I know, I'm a cocky.
Yeah, from the toilet side. But sorry, JB.
No, go ahead, Miss Clark.
No, because like I was listening to L, and let me say this now, like maybe it's because I grew up in a black school. I'm used to people talking shit. People always talk about who they gonna put hands on or who they're making their threats. Until you actually put action behind it, it's different. I could care less about Iran and them talking about how they're gonna blow up the world and so on and so forth and yada yada yada. Is you doing it or is you not? Like I think that's kind of like the point that a lot of Americans are. I look at actions more than anything. Does that mean that I'm not going to take you as a credible threat? Yeah, but until you and be prepared, absolutely. But I think there's like I said, maybe it's because I grew up in a black school. We heard all the time people talking about how they was going to whoop somebody's ass on Friday, and then when Friday came around, the ass whoopings never happened. So that's kind of like the way that I see Iran is. You know, you can talk all the shit you want to talk. I'm not going to brush it off. But I'm that kid with the pencil on their shoulder. Knock it off and see what happens.
So, Ms. Clark, you probably didn't know that Iran has already fired tens of thousands of ballistic missiles before we attacked on the 13th of June. Unprovoked. Iran surrounded Israel with what they call a ring of fire. So they are supplying and controlling the Houthis in Yemen, firing ballistic missiles into Israel. They fired one, I'm going to say at me, but I'm kidding, when I was there a couple weeks ago, and they missed me. They landed near Ben Gurion Airport. They also funded and trained Hamas to do the worst massacre of Jews since the Holocaust. So it's not just talk. They have expressed their intention to destroy the Jewish nation, and they have acted on that intention. It's not just talk.
Okay, so let me say this once again. I think we missed the point. I could care less what they do to Israel. And I know that sounds, y'all can hate me for it. I could care less what they do to Israel. What I'm saying is, as an American, what are they doing to me? That's the point that I'm getting at. Because, like I said, I'm not going to sit up here and act as if Israel hasn't done its shit or initiated this conflict that has led to them doing the stuff that they're doing to y'all now.
Let me answer what it's done to the U.S.
Hold up. Because my question still stands. Even in the situation that you brought up, when I mean like America's hands off, I also mean that when Iran formed that ring of fire and we were there shooting off our ballistics to help stop some of those things from making impact, I'm talking about America not even being there to do any of that.
Right.
That's
So let's
what I'm saying by hands off.
Talk about what they've done to America. Beginning with their very inception in 1979, they took our embassy, which you don't do, by the way, internationally, killed our diplomats and held the rest hostage. Yeah, Iran did that. 1983, they murdered.
Imagine.
America. American embassy. It's 1979. There's a movie about it. It's called Argo. You should watch it. Very interesting. That's when this regime came into power. You probably didn't know this stuff. 1983, they murdered our Marines in our U.S. embassy in Beirut. Iran did that. We never got them back for it. Israel went and attacked Nasrallah.
And you were a joke.
Honey,
You're a joke. You're an absolute bloody liar.
Who's interrupting? I'm happy to hear from you. The U.S. embassy was bombed by Iran in 1983 in Beirut. And a fellow behind us called Nasrallah. Nasrallah was also behind the murder of 650,000 Arabs in Syria. Israel took him out in the last 16 months. But that's not all. Iran has attacked U.S. interests 170 times since the beginning of this war in Gaza. So yes, Iran has been attacking U.S. citizens the whole time.
So what it sounds like to me, respectfully, is they're getting attacked in foreign places where those people have access to, which is gonna happen. Like I said, I'm prior military. That's nothing new under the sun for me. It's gonna happen. You have people who get our bases and embassy and stuff and other places get attacked. I'm asking directly, like respectfully. It don't involve. I'm not even asking. I'm just saying it does not involve us. Whatever happens to Israel happens to Israel.
It does. America is a listen. I tell you what.
Can you calm down?
I tell you what.
Can you calm down? I promise you, when you speak, I'm not going to cut you off. What I'm saying, as a Black American and as a veteran who has served this country, we need to butt the fuck out.
That's your free service, by the way.
And what happens to Israel is going to happen to Israel due to their actions and inactions, and they have to take responsibility. I'm saying that America needs to pull out completely, which means no aid, no service. Just let y'all.
Ms. Clark, let me ask you a question respectfully, because I'm just trying to get clarity. So you're basically calling for America to be an isolationist country.
No, I'm not saying be in an isolationist country.
Why is America in isolation?
What I'm saying is when it comes to certain conflicts, understand that is y'all's fight, not us. It's kind of like how we're the big brother in school and your little brother been talking shit to all these people, repercussions that come for him to get his ass whooped. At a certain time as a big brother, you're going to say, look, you run your mouth too much, you done did shit.
You have to handle it. Handle you.
Like, you're going to have to handle it. That doesn't mean that I'm going to isolate you or do all this, but you won't have to handle this conflict on your own. And when it's done, yeah, it's done. I'm here. But outside of that, nah, this person in your same weight group, your same weight class, you're going to have to square the fuck up.
It's in the Middle East.
Everybody hold on.
Israel is in the Middle East.
Everybody hold on. Shut up, lady. I want to welcome Sarah to the stage. Hey, Sarah, how you doing?
I'm good. Should I add to answer Miss Clark's question as someone who's an Iranian American?
You're more than welcome to. Let me just say this. I only got like another 5 or 10 minutes. I'm going to leave the room to you and Sig because I know you guys can handle it. But go ahead, Sarah.
Thank you, Miss Clark. So let me give you and just for your knowledge, I'm not Jewish, so I have no personal interest in Israel or for Jewish people. Like, there's no personal interest. Well, let me tell you, I understand you saying that Iran has made threats to Israel and has performed them, has made attacks, but it hasn't made attacks to U.S. Well, they don't have the power right now. If they would and could join all those, Shia country and nations in Middle East together and destroy Israel, and they have the power, then they're going to come for you and me, right here in America too. They have made threats already that they're on the way to make measles, that are going to make it all the way to America. They don't have that power right now. That's why you don't see them do anything, but if they ever have that power, they will. So whether people like this or not, I'm going to get a lot of pushbacks, but Israel has been fighting our fight for the last 46 years. And I know that because I lived in Iran. I was born here, but I went to school there. I went to elementary school. I went to middle school. I went to high school. The hate and the way they try to spread that ideology is very, very real. It's so real. And this is not a war between Iran versus Israel. This is a war between Iran versus Israel and America. I never remember them saying death to Israel and not say death to America. They didn't even have flags of Israel on the entrance of our schools. The entrance of my school was a flag of America. Do you know how many times I got fired from schools for not wanting to step on American flag? It's like a traumatic experience. For someone who was born, in America, and as a kid, I considered myself American, it was traumatic. But for people who don't know about West, they don't know about America, and they constantly educate them on how terrible America is and how bad it is and how they're only out there to get us. Trust me, this is a real threat. I'm not pro-war. I am absolutely not pro-war, but this is a just very, very complicated issue, problem.
Let me just jump in for a second. Sig, Sarah, I got real life stuff to take care of. You guys want to keep it open, Sig? I know Sarah definitely will help you.
Yeah, we can keep it open for a little bit. Yeah, that's fine.
And JB, you have yourself a good day too. Be
thank
good,
you, man. You as well. But Sid, good luck handling Sarah because she's a firecracker. Don't let the pretty face fool you. Guys, have a great day. I'll be back later.
Hey, you too, JB. We'll talk.
And Sarah, let me say this right now. This is what gets me. A lot of countries, if given the opportunity, would strike at America. But that does not give us the right to go out here and say, well, if the potential ever arises, we just gonna dead it now and just fuck y'all up. Like that's what I'm saying. Like, what you're saying to America isn't anything new. We've always had threats against us. Hell, even China and other places are coming against us. And we understand that if they ever get the power to overthrow us, guess what they're going to do? They're going to do it. But just because they're going to try. Well, my husband's saying they're going to try. But just because we understand that sentiment exists doesn't still give us the right to go. Because, respectfully, fuck these other people up and go in there and say, well, we understand that y'all have these sentiments to do this, so we just struck first. Like I said, people can talk shit all day. We have a myriad of countries, even ones that we're quote unquote in partnerships that are supposed to be our allies, still talk shit about America and talk about how they will overthrow us. That still doesn't give us the right to go in and do that shit. It's until you poke me, or like I said, maybe it's because I grew up in a black school, but until your hand make contact with me, I'm gonna hold my hand. That don't mean I'm not gonna take you serious. That doesn't mean I'm not gonna prep for it. But at the end of the day, until you put hands on me and I'll whoop your ass, that's all I can say. Because me jumping on your ass and then both of us going to the principal's office, I can sit here and talk about how you've been saying shit all day. You talk about how you gonna whoop my ass in PE. You talk about how you gonna whoop my ass in history. And the principal won't do what and say, has he put hands on you? No, you put hands on him first, so you're getting in trouble. You initiated it. And that's the way that I see it.
I mean, Iran does their little pokes and prods all the time. And when they do, they get their ass slapped. They're not going to do no direct attack.
When did they do that? When did they do that? Wait, when did they do that? Give me a date. Because we have news every day. Everybody has news. Everybody has TikTok. Everybody has their Facebook. Like, when did they do it? When did we see that happen? Because we saw what Israel did. Israel has been begging for Iran. Like, I've never met anybody beg for Iran and say, I want Iran. Like, what do you want me to do?
Nah, Iran has done its shit. Not gonna play that game. Iran has done its shit too wide. Both of y'all is like the two badass kids in the back seat poking each other. They grew dogs barking at each other.
I want to ask you guys a question. What will this think about this question, guys, for everybody, especially for the Israeli people? The innocent Palestinians, people that are being killed, the innocent young kids. Because AL is gone. How would they grow up if their father or mother passed away and died? How would they take action? Maybe governments, they don't do that. They will now
That's the reason why they killed them.